Hello, everyone. Hi, lads. My name is Trish. I'm a compulsive overeater. I eat three measured meals a day from the grey sheet. I write them down and commit them to my sponsor. I don't eat anything in between. And abstinence is the most important thing in my life. And my abstinent date is the 11th of October, 2021. I am a miracle walking. I really feel that. I feel it in my bones because I came to Grey Sheet in a really, really bad state. I am a serial dieter, a serial self-helper. If anything, a magazine, a program, an ad said news, said weight loss, said diet, anything that I just thought, oh my God, that's it. That'll fix me. That'll fix me. That'll fix me. And it was all lies because I knew from an early age that something was different from the way I ate and the way I treated food. My first food memories would be my poor mum found me hiding food we don't eat. And she was very, very upset. And she said, no, no, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Why on earth would you? And I was trying to explain that they were my friends and I was just keeping them. And my relationship with food was distorted completely. I felt I was broken, and God love her, that if my mum could have, she would have traded me up for a different model. The one she got was broken. And bless her, my mum was very petite and slim. And it didn't look to me like she ever struggled with her weight, And she said she couldn't relate to me. She said I was different, that she would suggest not eating. She would suggest, you've had enough. My food would have been taken off me. I was very, very jealous of my brothers. They got to eat to abandon, and I got left out because it was the worst thing for a woman in this world not to be pretty and not to be slim. And I found this picture of the two of us today. So it's me not looking great. I wouldn't have been at my heaviest. I would have been about size 24 there, which would have been around the 250 mark. I would have been much heavier when I was pregnant, and that's my mum, God rest her, the other side. And that's my little angel, my little earth angel, putting her hand up to save me. So I'm sure there was some kind of row going on when my dad, God rest him, took the photo. And Dad would step in and save me from my mum. And I was allowed to do DIY and car mechanics. And I used to love it. I'd get really messy and dirty, and I would never get corrected. And it was always, you're all right, Tish. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I starved myself. It didn't work. I did all the WWs. That didn't work. I did the Irish version, Unislim. It didn't work. I went online. I became obsessed with health cures. This is really embarrassing. I thought my teeth were poisoning me at one stage. I thought my guts were poisoning me at one stage. I was in and out of the doctors going, there has to be something, some kind of cure. The gang that I was hanging around with, I fell out with. And you know that sport saying, if you can't spot it, you're it. And I had a sneaky suspicion I was an idiot. I just thought something's wrong with, I took things to heart. I got upset more easier, and I escaped the whole time. So we'd be out in a big gang and something would be said to me or some comment would be made, and I would just disappear and walk home. And it was the same in school. The nuns would be gunning for me and I'd jump out the window and I'd just go missing. And I hid in my art, and until that got too painful. I won a couple of competitions and people kept commenting, and then I hid that as well. I just didn't feel safe in the world as me. I didn't feel my choices were safe, and that was all to do with the food in my body. I felt very allergic to everything I ate. I could fast and feel okay. I just thought if I could fast for so many days, maybe that would work. And marriage, God, I was a terrible wife. That didn't work. Logistics didn't work. I switched counties and I thought the wild Atlantic way would fix me. That didn't work. I thought I'd go walking. Never went walking. It was always when I get to here, when I get to there, when I get to. So I ground to a halt and life took over and life pummeled me to a crisp. And I came into GSA very, very broken with a savage state of mind and miserable in other fellowship. I gave up the alcohol very, very easily, and I just did not make the link with the food. I just didn't realize I was allergic to all sugars, all very, very carbohydrate sensitive, and starches and grains. And I had lost lots of weight when I went very low carb. But once I introduced any of those foods, the carbs, the sugars, the grains, I would be off like the worst kind of addict you could ever set your eyes on. So I cannot judge any poor soul in any other fellowship because my food was biblically dark, very savagely hurting myself and not the nice stuff. I never went for anything healthy, anything nice. I remember once having a very posh, healthy meal. And on the way home, I had to get the nastiest sugar product. It was just like I just couldn't cope with taking care of myself. And that's how I see GSA. GSA is different to any diet. The last thing I did was, it was similar to our health service. It's the UK health service. It's called Second Nature. I couldn't keep up with all the stuff I had to read. I had to log on and say hi to all these people. And I just found it so stressful. It took me 2 weeks to get all the ingredients for a soup. And it was a grand soup, but I just thought if I have to do this for the rest of my life, I'll shoot myself. It's just, I couldn't keep it up. So GSA to me is just the simplest, the kindest, the most welcoming thing that I've ever done in my entire life. And I was grossly, grossly obese. I had been sent to a pain management clinic in Tala, and that was fairly much, we can do no more for you except your pain. And I was told I had no self-compassion. And then one person that I was chatting to said they had given sugar up for 2 years and felt better. And for some reason, those two things made me think of Grey Sheet. No sugar and self-compassion. And I thought, because I had tried all the food fellowships and I couldn't relate to the people. I got great compassion for people who have anorexia and bulimia. And met very, very brave men and women in those fellowships that had the same horrible head that I did. But I couldn't relate to them because I'm a fat chick and I would have been bullied as my thunder thighs and my, would have been called horrific names as a kid, and came out with my fists up, slapping I became very angry inside. And as I got bigger and fatter, I became a bigger doormat. And when I'd become thinner, I'd get very, very angry at the sort of thin privilege I seen in the world. And I know I'm neither, but GSA is giving me that balance. I still can't believe that on my first meeting, I call her my GSA godmother. She rang me for an hour to talk through the Grey Sheet with me, and she explained stuff. I had pinched one off the internet and done it wrong, so I completely get you need a sponsor to explain to you. You really do. I had been told by another angel to go out and get a teaspoon and tablespoon. I didn't have one. I actually did think a teaspoon was what you put in your tea and squeezed your tea bag with. I didn't, I had done home ec. I had done cookery courses. I had, I call it the holy show, the nice bookshelf, all the cookbooks. Never looked at them, never read them. I didn't know about eggs. I didn't know about cheese. I didn't know how long I left stuff out for. Thank you, Nancy. And I couldn't believe it. These two angels said, don't worry, welcome home. You're in the right place. get a notebook. We're going to teach you how to look after yourself. I love the put your slippers on. And then I had to put certain things also on my hit list. Toxic people. Don't take the bait. Don't take, like I was putting up boundaries to protect myself for the first time in my life. And that just felt so strange and so alien. And I'm the bomb scare in the kitchen. I don't mind saying my poor eldest daughter is still traumatized from the time I nearly set the kitchen on fire. And so I had to keep my food simple, and I had to write it down several times until I got the format. My first sponsor sent me an amazing package with all our stuff, our GreySheeters World Service, that these people, they clarified the stuff. And I needed the clarifications because I wasn't great at looking, even though my daughters are allergic to nuts and they're celiac, I would have looked at labels, but I never looked at where the sugar was on a label. Never. And the shock at finding it in everyday products that we were eating was, I just couldn't believe it actually, that it's in absolutely everything, and you do have to double check. And my head was, I try not to swear for the podcast people, but yeah, I could not remember my name. Some of the meetings I came on, I couldn't, if you asked me what my name was, I couldn't remember it. And this beautiful lady wrote out for me, my name is Trish. And then she put the introduction, and I felt it was a miracle. Day 50, I learned this off by heart. The other miracles were around day 10 was Halloween. I brought my child Halloween trick-or-treating for the first time in 3 years. I haven't been able to go out in the cold and walk around. That was another miracle. She didn't want the sweets. She wanted her mum to come with her door to door. I had everything back to front. I thought people didn't want me around them, but it was all excuses just to hide myself away and stuff and abuse myself and think the world hated me. And as I started to come out, I wouldn't be a great fan of Christmas. I don't have great Christmas memories. And I had the nicest Christmas with my daughter. And I spent it with me, my fellowship. I spent it with silly movies and Lego. And there was nobody saying, why are you eating that? Are you sure you want that? Let's take it off you. I'm still working on sitting at the kitchen table. I find it difficult. It wasn't a safe place for me growing up. And it's sometimes a struggle to have 3 delicious, healthy meals a day. They're absolutely fabulous. I struggle with a chronic health condition, so sometimes that brain fog could get in the way as well. But it just me to have breakfast is so alien, and a breakfast that makes my face smile. I just love the food, I love the portions, and I love how I feel afterwards. And nobody's trying to take my bowl off me. And I love that my first sponsor said that it's all yours. It's all yours. And it is. And I would be a bit territorial in the way I hold my bowl in the morning. I feel like I'm coming back to life. The weight is just falling off me. I've gone down. Thank you, Nancy. I've gone down 6 sizes. And with that comes a panic that I don't know what's ahead of me, but I know with the fellowship that I'm going to be okay. I had a bit of a feelings day today, which I hate. I think I annoyed a good number of you with phone calls and texts and, oh my God, and that's okay too. That's okay too, because for once I have found home. I found what's wrong with me. I found I'm allergic to these foods. And once I leave them out, my food is safe. My life feels safer. I feel like I'm surrounded by a loving community, which I never found anyone else. And I never want to leave. And I'm going to be really, really super irritating to protect my abstinence, because I feel very, very protective over it. I don't want to go anywhere. And I wish you all a happy abstinence evening, because that's the highest privilege I could wish anyone who has this horrible disease. And that's what it is. So thank you, Nancy, and no matter what. God bless, guys.